One of the biggest problems that I see with people and how they're training is they have little to no sense of urgency. Now, what is sense of urgency? Basically, it's the idea that I am doing a task and I am trying to do it fast. It's the mindset of trying to get through a task quickly and efficiently. And I see a lot of people on the range and people that I shoot with, whether they're law enforcement or military or civilians, while they're shooting their drills, they're being very comfortable at the pace in which they're shooting the drill or the pace at which they're doing the task. So it can be anything from how they're drawing their pistol, how they're reloading, how they're clearing a malfunction, shooting around a barricade, moving to a different position. Just the amount of time it takes them to do it and the fact that they're not pushing themselves and they're not giving themselves any urgency. And the only time I kind of will see those people pick up the pace or try to be faster is when I put them into a competitive environment where I have someone next to them and I have 2 plate racks or I have two different strings of fire, they're the same, and I'm going, you're competing against this dude, I have a buzzer or I call something out. That's the only time I'll see those people then realize, oh, I actually need to be fast. I need to have some sense of urgency about what I'm doing. And it can be hard sometimes when you're training on your own to kind of force that sense of urgency on yourself where you're really trying to push yourself. But that's extremely important when you're pushing your speed. I know some people out there go, oh, speed's not important, or Lucas, speed is all you preach. Well, I believe speed goes hand in hand with accuracy. Practical, defensive, or offensive shooting is all about 2 things, speed and accuracy. Obviously, tactics aside, just the shooting portion of it, speed and accuracy. Speed is just as important as accuracy, and obviously, I've talked about in other videos, as a target gets further away, accuracy becomes more important. As a target gets closer, speed becomes more important. So it's important to be working speed when you're on the range. But it's very hard to push yourself to work that speed if you don't have a sense of urgency. So I want to demonstrate for you guys a few different areas in shooting where you can be working on your sense of urgency, where you can be focusing on it. So one right here is the draw. So I have a target here at about 7 yards. I have my Glock 34 from the holster outside the waistband, and I'm simply going to draw and fire a couple rounds. And if I don't go off of a timer or anything, I'm just deciding on my own, 2 rounds from the draw. It can be really easy to just do that over and over, that speed. Did that look fast? It was all right, but I actually don't know if that was any faster, and I wasn't pushing myself to try to be faster. So now I'll just try to go faster. All right, that was a little better. I'm pushing myself, a little more sense of urgency, getting my hand on the gun, driving the gun out, building my grip as I'm pushing out, firing those shots as soon as I see my sight. Something that really helps build a sense of urgency is having a metric of how fast you're actually going. Just shooting and thinking, oh, that felt fast, I think that was maybe faster, that's usually not good enough. Getting one of these little suckers is really going to help your training, because now you can exactly see exactly how fast you're shooting. And then you can use this metric off of here of what your time is based on what kind of targets you're shooting. You can go on the internet, find other guys and go, hey, this guy's shooting, 2A zone at 7 yards and under a second from the holster. I need to start working around that. So I highly recommend getting one of these. These really can help your sense of urgency. This is a packed shot timer. We sell them at T.REX Arms. I've been using these for years, and the only reason I'm as good at shooting as the way I am is because I've been using one of these. If I had not been using a timer the past 4 or 5 years that I've been shooting, I would not be where I am today. This really helps with your sense of urgency when you know there's a timer going. I'm going to be able to look at this data when I'm done. I want to make sure this data is low. I want to make sure that it's fast. I want to make sure that it's fast in relation to what I'm shooting based on the accuracy. So definitely get one of these. So draw, that's one. Now let's talk about reloads. So in reloading a pistol, there's obviously a lot of stuff going on, but I'm just going to break it down. When I'm in the process of shooting a target, I have a thin window right here, and I have a low percentage target at about 10 yards. So I'm just going to be shooting this target up in the head area and then reloading. And basically I'm just dealing with two tasks. Shoot gun. As soon as my gun goes empty, I go to reload gun. So I have two different tasks, and generally for people, there's obviously going to be a break in from when I am shooting my gun, which is the task at hand that I'm doing, and then having to reload that gun. Obviously other tasks can jump in there, tactical considerations, moving to position of cover, doing whatever. But just from the sake of shooting, I've got shoot, and then I have reload. And so I'm having to task process. And a lot of people, you know, beginner shooters, they have a longer time to identify what's going on with the gun. As soon as they get slide lock, they go, why can't I fire? I just got a mushy trigger, or I just clicked the trigger to the rear, nothing happened. Oh, I'm at slide lock, and then they reload. So their process of task of shooting to task of reloading is really long. And by building a sense of urgency, you can start chopping that down. So as soon as you get slide lock and you're identifying this is exactly what's going on, even if it's an unanticipated reload, and you have who knows how many rounds in your gun, and you're just working through targets, and all of a sudden, oh, slide lock, I know exactly what I need to do. I've done it enough that I can identify that, and I've built sense of urgency into my training that this break between shoot task to reload task is now very short. So I want to demonstrate that for you on this target right here. Right now I have about 10 rounds in the magazine, or so, I don't know exactly. I'm just going to spill some out onto the ground. I don't know how many I'm going to have. I'm simply going to draw the pistol, shoot into the head of this target. I'm at 10 yards, so it's going to be a little bit slower shooting, and then I'm going to reload, and we're going to see how much of a break there is from when I go to slide lock to when I reload, and how fast am I identifying that, oh, I'm at slide lock, I need to reload. Let's see what that looks like. Going off of a timer, don't know how many rounds I have in the gun. So pretty fast. As soon as I felt it, I knew I need to go get a new mag. My task of shooting has now been interrupted. Now my next task is I need to load the gun. And by building sense of urgency into my training, I can start trimming that break down, the amount of time where I need to switch between tasks. So now I want to talk about another one, and that's target transitioning. I won't spend too long on this one because I'm going to do a dedicated video or two-part series on how to aimbot, how to target transition. But basically I have three targets right here mixed into our little mock shoot house wall setup. We've got an IPSC right here about 10-ish yards, another one at about 10-ish, and then another one at around 10-ish. And obviously with target transitioning, for this drill, I'm just going to shoot 2 rounds into each. But this is another area where I'm task processing. Every target is a task, and there's going to be a transition to go to the next target. So I go bang, bang, and then it's, can I move on to the next target? Yes, I can. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Move the gun. 1, 2, and then I start that whole process over again. So it's important to be able to switch between those tasks, and the reason I'm able to do target transition as fast as I can is because I've spent a lot of time on my sense of urgency and identifying when I'm done shooting that target. It's all mental. I'll talk about this more in the other video. But as soon as I'm done with the target, it's get off of that target. It's that sense of urgency moving from target to target. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the way most people will target transition and what a long break looks like when you're task processing between these 3 targets. So from the draw, 2 rounds per, very simple. Timer. So that's how most people will target transition. People that haven't done it a whole lot. There's going to be that break of, oh, can I move? Yes, I can. Where is it? Oh, it's over here. And there's going to be a much longer break in the target process, in the task processing between each target. So now I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. I'm going to activate the aim bot a little bit and see what it looks like. Faster task processing. So same accuracy, but I'm a little bit faster knowing I can move now. I'm done. There it is. Eyes lead gun falls. I'll do another video on that. But that's kind of the difference there of being able to bring the tasks closer together, switch between them quickly, and I'm able to do that because of having sense of urgency in my training. Another area you can build more sense of urgency is moving between shooting ports or moving between shooting positions. Obviously moving as well, but really basic. I'm simply going to be shooting a target from this side, and then I'm going to move the gun to this side, and I'm going to demonstrate how I see a lot of people shoot it and how they can push themselves to shoot it instead. So I'm going to go ahead, attack mag. Really simple. The way I see a lot of people will shoot a drill like this is they'll come up, they'll find their target, then they go, oh, I'm done, okay, I can go over here now. And they're comfortable, and they're complacent with what they're doing. They're just going their comfortable, easy speed. And it is easy. You're not pushing yourself, you're not trying to move fast, you're not really trying to excel. So now I'm going to show what you can be doing instead to be a better shooter and be a faster shooter and get rounds downrange much more efficiently. So simply get the gun on. So I'm a lot faster. As soon as I'm done, same thing, task processing. Oh, I can move now. I can go to the next port. I'm pushing myself. I'm trying to make my brain move very quickly. That applies to shooting through ports. As I'm shooting, next port, next port, next port. Just like that. I'm moving fast and moving efficiently. Some people go, oh, you look like a robot when you're doing it. Maybe, but I'm trying to be efficient. There's a couple things to take into consideration when you're working on your sense of urgency. And the first is, if you are new to this and you're new to pushing yourself, and maybe you've grown up shooting, but you've been shooting Coke cans off of a log and you really haven't pushed your speed or working from holsters or doing whatever, it can be very easy to get mentally drained while you're doing this because this is hard. You're constantly trying to push yourself. And don't push yourself past diminishing return where you're just mentally destroyed, but you're still trying as hard as you can to do whatever it is because you're not getting good training reps in. If you hit diminishing return where you're like, I'm not getting anything out of this, just stop shooting. You don't need to keep shooting. It's actually better to stop and identify as soon as you've hit diminishing return where you're getting nothing out of what you're doing and just cut it for the day. There's some days I come out here when I'm doing my own training where I'm not doing videos and doing stuff like this, and I'll just go home early because I realize I've hit my diminishing return. It's, could be because of sleep that I'm not getting or stress from work or whatever it is, and I only get an hour or 2 hours of actual good training on the range. I could force myself to say an extra 4 hours or 5 hours, but I'm actually getting anything out of that? And the answer is probably not. So that's something that you need to be aware of. And then the second thing is, when you're working on your sense of urgency, that doesn't mean you just need to shoot everything faster. No, you still need to be able to hit your targets. Speed isn't any good if you can't actually hit stuff. But the point of sense of urgency is when I am not shooting, when I need to move or reload the pistol or clear a malfunction or transition to a pistol, there's no reason for that stuff to be slower. My shooting speed is going to be determined by target size, target distance, and target opportunity. But everything else, that can all be fast. If I make the decision to move from here to move to there, there's no reason for me to just lumber along slowly. No, I'm going to move with purpose to that point, mount the gun as fast as I can, and get back on the target. Or if I'm moving between ports on a barricade, there's no reason for me to go, oh, tum-de-dum, I'm just gonna go nice and slow down here. No, I'm gonna go as fast as I can. My shooting speed will be adjusted so that I'm at that 90% performance of getting my hits, but everything else can be fast. My draw speed never has to change if I'm shooting a target at 10 yards or target at 50 yards. If I go to draw, it's the same speed every time. I don't need to slow that down. And you're going to get to that point if you're putting sense of urgency into your training and you're starting to develop those good habits. So I really hope that helps you guys. I have another video coming up soon, which is going to be titled The Most Important Fundamental of Shooting. You guys can surmise what that is in the comments. But until next time, I'm Lucas with T.REX Arms. Whew. 8:33, I miss.